breakthrough infection untreated, you're probably more vulnerable than the average child who is not vaccinated who gets COVID. Like people have died who are double vaccinated. In fact, there was a guy who just won an Emmy who's
yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, the odds of that happening to a healthy child are very, very low.
Very low.
But that guy is probably your age. How old are you?
I'm 51.
Yeah, he's about your age. Theoretically, you would be more vulnerable than a young child would be. You vaccinated would be more vulnerable of a breakthrough infection than a young child would be, statistically speaking, right? But you're not worried about
catching it. They're both rare.
But you're not worried about catching it. You're not worried about catching it because you've been vaccinated and you think it imparts a certain amount of protection. What I'm saying to you is I think that not worry is the same feeling that a lot of people have about their children. They're not worried about their healthy children catching it for the same reason you're not worried about catching it being vaccinated. That if treated correctly, they think that the child probably has a better chance even than you do because you're 51 years old.
I think...
Does that...
I mean, they're both...
That seems reasonable, right?
Well, I think it's... I don't... I know the story about this 53-year-old
But you see
guy.
what I'm saying? Like with your attitude that you're not worried about catching it because you've been vaccinated and you're a healthy guy. That is the exact same feeling that people have about vaccinating their children. If they have healthy children and they know that statistically speaking, there's so few children that have died from COVID.
Having a good time.
Well, yeah, there are. It's like, I think 500 or so children
out of
have died
millions and millions and millions of kids
that probably have been exposed.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's, again, part of it is not defining this in terms of life and death. I think
but do you understand my point?
Well, are you suggesting I get boosted?
No, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is your attitude about not being concerned because you have antibodies and you think you would get through it even if you had a breakthrough infection. That is the exact same attitude that a lot of young people have where they don't want to get a shot because they're worried about the consequences, even though they're incredibly small.
Consequences.
But there are no consequences. Dude, he's so confidently wrong.
Yo.
Reed Vares. I love this community. But it's never not funny. Whenever new people find their way here. Because they always bring up the same fucking point. And they bring it up in like this incredibly fucking confident way where it's like, dude, read VAERS, bro. Oh, you mean the fucking vaccine like autoimmune emergency response or whatever system? You know, that you can fucking literally right now go on and lie. Vaccine adverse advent report system. Thank you. Whatever the fuck it's called. That statistically, or at least always has an insane amount of fucking false reports whenever there's a new vaccine around, and those reports just go away because I guess like because people no longer have adverse events, or maybe because people no longer are part of the mass hysteria.
Hi.
All the myocarditis cases are literally because American soldiers are on roids. At least that's what they say in the UK when administering the vaccine. Yeah.
Joe insane in the brain. 8. Rogan.
The adverse response that is like most common that I hear all the time is that your period changes, right? Your period is like a little late. Guess what, dude? I'm not a woman, but I'm pretty sure your period literally fucking changes with every minor difference in your life. So yes, getting a vaccine will and can change the fucking timeliness of your period.
We usually have flu shots flying off the sleeves every year. This year no one is coming in to get them because of the paranoia surrounding all vaccinations, thanks to people like him.
I just like want to fucking see the rest of this video so bad. Like, this is so good. And I wish there were more clips from the fucking podcast, dude. Like, this is actually an episode that I want to see. I want to see Joe Rogan talk to someone who knows how to dumb it down, who knows how to say the fucking right things. He's a TV doctor. I want to be able to watch that shit. Deeply frustrating that I can't. They won't post the whole thing because it's not anti-vax enough. It's wild to me that it's like only fucking 6 minutes. Can't you just open Spotify and play the video? No, I don't think I can.
Sanjay Gupta sat down for a 3-hour one-on-one with controversial podcast host Joe Rogan last night. Rogan remains a vaccine skeptic despite having caught COVID-19 himself. Let's listen to part of this.
So would you now, with what you know now, and having had COVID, would you have wished that you had been vaccinated beforehand?
But I got
you almost
through
got
it.
vaccinated.
Yeah, but I explained
you got
all that.
through it.
But I got through COVID.
Yeah,
pretty quickly.
Yeah.
So that was my thought was, I'm a healthy person. I exercise constantly. I'm always taking vitamins. I take care of myself. I felt like I was going to be okay, and that was true. It was correct. I'm happy.
Bro. So many fucking anti-MSM dick riders, dude. Joe Rogan calls out Dr. Sanjay Gupta to his face. I'm sure that's not Ryan saying that, by the way. But what's hilarious is like, bro, you literally, you do TRT, you do like fucking, I mean, this motherfucker takes steroids, dude. What the fuck? He takes steroids, dude. He's got bubble gut.
Vitamin brain strong.
Him not taking the vaccines is hilarious.
I got through it. I don't wish it upon anyone. It wasn't fun, but it wasn't the worst cold I've ever had, and I got over it fairly quickly, relatively speaking.
I think that, and again, I am truly glad about that. I'm not, all kidding aside, I don't think anybody wishes you, everybody wants you to be well and healthy. But I think the question is just in terms of the nuance of this. It's not a strategy to recommend people get infected.
I'm not recommending anybody get infected.
So they should get vaccinated.
I think a lot of people should get vaccinated.
You're talking,
I think
a lot of vulnerable people.
Yeah.
If you just said vulnerable people, there'd be a lot
older
of
people, fat people. I think a lot of those folks. My real concern is this urge to vaccinate children, and I don't know what kind of data we have on the long-term effects of this.
All right, with us now, Sanjay. Sanjay, first off, I mean, I'm so glad you did this because there's so many people who can listen to the sense that you make. Tell us why you thought this was so important.
Yeah, I think that's part of it. I mean, I think the media.
God, if anyone finds
Joe Rogan these nuts.
Chad, if you find like the full-blown one, if you find the full-blown fucking video, I will lose my mind, dude. I will piss, shit, and fart in my pants, okay?
Smiley
I want to
face,
watch this
right
so
pointing
bad.
Finger, chat.
If you find it on YouTube, I will fucking, oh my God, I'll suck you off. I'll give it 100 subs, easy.
As PP.
Not a flattering thing. I get that.
It's a lie. It's a lie on a news network, and it's a lie that's a willing. That's a lie that they're conscious of. This is not a mistake.
Yeah,
they're unfavorably framing it as
1 year old shit.
The funniest thing is like when Joe Rogan himself lies, spreads misinformation, and just like fucking does. Yeah, when Joe Rogan fucking lies, spreads misinformation, does all this shit, then he's just like a fucking he's just an ape, you know? Oh, he's just an ape. Why are you taking him seriously? When CNN says Joe Rogan took ivermectin or whatever the fuck they did.
Oh no, another month closer to brain rot.
Hey there.
What the fuck is Death Watch, bro? This is terrible.
This
literally sucks.
So
all right, let's just fucking watch pieces and bits and pieces. Okay.
Nine months hassle.
Did my stains move over to Will Nev now because he's less problematic? Is that what's going on? Yes, that's exactly what's happening because he got put in timeout. If I say anything, I'll get in trouble. So, you guys stay there, okay? Enabling parasocial stand behavior for personal gain.
Hashwin easy.
No, I'm not. Actually, I think that's part of the reason why Haas Twitter doesn't pop off like that, because I routinely yell about stand shit, as I'm doing currently.
7 months, let's go.
Anyway. Before we get to this, hold on. I'm going to fucking run an ad break right now. Top of the hour every hour. If you no longer want to see the ads, you already know. You can subscribe for $5 or for free. Okay. You can also do some other stuff, I think. Don't know what they are. You know, to avoid those ads. People are writing stuff in the chat. I don't know what that is. Thing that people are writing in the chat. Don't know what the other ways are, but turns out discouraging unhealthy behavior online really limits your Twitter engagement. No, my fucking Twitter engagement is fine. And I love like the people that are fans of mine, the people that are in this community. I love you guys. I mean, I fucking talk about how fortunate I am all the time, and I'm genuine. When I say this. Anyway, here's the ad break. Fuck, before I forget. Why can't you say ad block? I don't know what that is. What is that even? Is that a thing?
"7 months.
I don't know what it is. I just have never heard of that. I've never said that either.
Hasanabi.
Okay, let me tweet out that I'm watching the fucking Joe Rogan shit too. Owns. Where he owns MSM lies. Is that good? Is that like good language? Is that good spicy language to be like
sub for spooky month has
watching the Joe Rogan Sanjay Gupta conversation where he owns MSM lies?
more like Sanjay Gupta.
Let's watch.
So for you, Joe Rogan,
Yes.
I would say you've had it.
Yes.
So now get one shot of the vaccine.
No.
Why not?
Because I have better immunity than I would if I was vaccinated.
So,
right?
Yes,
Don't I?
I think your immunity is really good.
So why, if I've already gotten through COVID and I was really only sick for a day, and then 5 days later I was negative, and I do have the natural antibodies now, why would I take a chance in getting vaccinated on top of that?
By the way, I'm glad you're better. I'm glad it only lasted a day.
You're probably the only one at CNN that's glad.
No. We're not.
The rest of them are all lying about me taking horse medication. And we should talk about that.
That bothered you.
It should bother you, too. They're lying at your network about people taking human drugs versus drugs for veterinary.
Calling it a horse dewormer is not a flattering thing. I get that.
It's a lie. It's a lie on a news network, and it's a lie that's a willing... That's a lie that they're conscious of. It's not a mistake.
Yeah.
They're unfavorably framing it as veterinary medicine.
Well, the FDA put this thing out. You saw that. Did you see that thing that the FDA put out?
What did the FDA put out?
It was a tweet, and it was snarky. I admit it. They said, "You are not a horse. You are not a cow. Stop taking this stuff," or something like that.
Why would you say that when you're talking about a drug that's been given out to billions and billions of people?
Is Joe Rogan actually... He might not be a horse, but I think he literally isn't human anymore. I think he's like turned into an ape. The reason why the entirety of the media were talking about horse dewormer was not because there isn't like ivermectin for humans. That's not the gotcha that these fucking idiots think it is. It's because, one, you're taking ivermectin, which is a dewormer, for a fucking viral disease, okay? There's no evidence that it works. And also, and this is perhaps the most important part about it, most people couldn't get the human version, so they were doing the horse paste, the livestock medication. That's why people said horse dewormer, because people were literally taking the horse dewormer.
People, a drug that was responsible for one of the inventors of it making the
Nobel Prize.
winning the Nobel Prize in 2015.
Yeah.
Yeah, a drug that has been...
You literally should be like, you know what else won a Nobel Prize? Lobotomies. I don't suggest you get one for fucking COVID. He's so spineless, dude.
Been shown to stop viral replication in vitro. You know that, right? Why would they lie and say that's horse dewormer? I can afford people medicine, motherfucker. This is ridiculous. It's just a lie.
I don't think anyone is
But don't you think that a lie like that is dangerous on a news network when you know that they know they're lying? You know that they know that I took medicine. Like, here it is. This is ivermectin.
You got
this
it with
right
you.
here. Somebody gave it to me.
All right, hang on. The thing is, we're like going so fast. Like I feel like I'm missing.
Do you think that's a problem that your news network lies?
Well, I don't.
Dude,
I mean, what did they say?
They lied and said I was taking horse dewormer. First of all, it was prescribed to me by a doctor.
Yeah.
Along
they
with
shouldn't have said
a
it was
bunch of other medications.
If you got a,
you should have just been like, dog. I don't know. I can't speak for everything fucking CNN does. And also, why would they do that? Like, did they actually do that? Did they say that Joe Rogan's like a horse dewormer? I mean, I joked about it.
I love you, sex Kajan.
Like, what did they say?
He's mad about the horse part.
Okay, let's keep on.
human pill, because there were people that were taking it, the veterinary medication, and you're not, obviously. You got it from a doctor, so that it shouldn't be called that. Ivermectin can be a very effective medication for
For the record, I said it was horse dewormer. I think it's fucking hilarious. I still say Joe Rogan took horse dewormer. Because ivermectin is horse dewormer. And Joe Rogan took it. I'm not taking the human version of the horse dewormer.
parasitic disease, and as you say, it's probably, I think what, 250 million people have taken it around the world.
More,
I get that.
Way more.
So
way more. Billions of people have taken it.
Can I just come back to the one I want to talk about? Two things on
you
the
have
ledger.
You have, before we get to that, does it bother you that the news network you work for out and out lied, just outright lied about me taking horse dewormer?
They shouldn't have said that.
The counter
it's
is
never been determined it works. Doctor sounds he was cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
The counter is this. Does it bother you that over the course of the past fucking year,
9 months,
you have
baby.
relentlessly shat on every public health measure? Like every single one. And you have been wrong every step of the way while you did so. Does that bother you? Like, okay, CNN's wrong. They said horse dewormer. Do you not care that you're like you have fans out there who probably think they're healthy because they listen to Joe Rogan and they think that's a substitute for fucking doing Brazilian jiu-jitsu or something. And they're not getting the vaccine because they're scared now.
It's been 11 months.
Because they're fucking idle.
Microchip in my
Says he doesn't
arm
want
is
to take
still
the
not working
vaccine.
at all. I am still
You not feel
disappointed.
bad if they fucking die?
Why did they do that?
I don't know.
You didn't ask? You didn't think that was you're the medical guy over there.
I didn't ask. I should have asked before
but they
coming
did
on
it
your
with
podcast.
such glee.
No,
yes,
Joe.
they did. I watched.
You watched?
I watched.
You watched? No, I don't think there's
yes,
glee.
they did.
I don't. No one takes.
Joe Rogan says he has COVID, taking livestock drug despite warnings. Yeah.
Jamie had to pull this up.
You want to play it?
Does she
This
have
is your
glee?
news network.
I'm gonna watch.
Let's see.
I'm gonna watch.
Rogan telling his 13 million Instagram followers that he was treated with several drugs, and he included ivermectin on the list, a drug used for livestock. The FDA and the CDC warn against using to treat COVID.
Turns out I got COVID.
Wait, by the way, she's right. They didn't lie. That's not a lie. Where's the fucking lie? Wait, you're going to tell me that CNN, I fucking hate CNN. You know this already. But what, a national broadcaster is not going to take it seriously when they're mentioning ivermectin and literally mention that the FDA tells you not to take it and that it's like most commonly used for livestock medication? Of course they're going to fucking specify that because there's a lot of dumbasses Even fucking fake news CNN, Clinton News Network still recognizes the responsibility that they have to make sure that there's caution there, because there's a lot of dumbasses in the United States of America who are like, oh, Joe Rogan took ivermectin, let's do it, yee.
COVID. Look, they put a yellow filter on me too.
The kitchen sink at it. All kinds of meds. Monoclonals,
you see the original video versus that? I look like shit there.
Z-Pack,
do you know that?
I think you look good.
Pause. It's enough.
Prednisone.
That's enough, Jimmy.
I don't think Aaron had Glee.
Oh, well, it's more Brian Stelter was the gleeful one. But the point is, that's a lie.
It can be used for humans. I get it. I totally.
Not just could be used for humans, is often used for humans, along with all the other drugs I
Wait.
I stopped listening to.
Wait, hold on.
Said Rogan wasn't based.
Is often used for humans. Yeah, for river blindness, dude. And for worms, parasites.
9 months, Pogo, love you, Arjan, chat, you looking scrumptious.
Not for COVID. Not for COVID, though. Not used for COVID. Merck,
Did you know Steve Kerr named his son
the
Nick?
big pharma manufacturer of ivermectin, has for months said, we're closely studying the issue, but as far as we have seen, there are no studies that prove that ivermectin is an effective treatment for COVID.
Yee.
By the way, remember how I said debates are dumb? Because the side that is more gifted rhetorically or more skilled rhetorically or can bully the other side will win functionally the debate.
Arjan? Pogo.
Joe Rogan is literally rolling a fucking professional who talks about medicine on television for a living. And yet, Dr. Sanjay Gupta is the right one. He's the one who has the facts on his side. And Joe Rogan is literally steering the conversation away from the actual issues and to this dumb shit. And he's fucking bullying him. Like, he's making him look like a bitch.
took all human drugs.
Yes.
They know it's a human drug.
It's right. But
they lied.
The thing
it's defamatory.
It is yeah, they shouldn't have done that.
It's defamatory, right?
Well, I don't know if it's defamatory.
I bet it is.
Well, I'm not a lawyer.
It's a lie.
Well, see, here's the thing. You can have nuanced discussions about this.
No,
right?
you can't.
Yeah,
you can't have nuanced discussions about lying about someone taking horseshoe
There
worm.
was no glee, by the way, from her. She
well,
was. I don't think anyone takes people's illness.
Yes, they do.
They don't want you to get
stop
sick,
it.
Joe.
Yes, they do.
They
were
want you to get
upset
sick.
that
I thought it was really funny. I think Joe Rogan's fans thought it was funny. Like, even they were like, I mean, I am a fucking Joe Rogan fan. At least an old head Joe Rogan fan who is no longer a fan. He's literally a fucking ape, dude. He's a dumb ape who did everything but take the vaccine and has taken way worse shit and sells worse shit than the vaccine on his fucking website, and then he gets COVID. That's hilarious, dog. I'm sorry. That's fucking hilarious, dude. And anyone with a comedy brain like Joe Rogan should normally recognize that. He would be laughing about this if this happened to anyone else.
I got healthy. That's one thing they didn't report on. The fact that I was negative 5 days later and working out 6 days later.
Well,
6 days after infection, I was back in the gym.
I'm glad.
Felt great.
I'm glad you do. I really
Me
am.
too.
I think
Thank you.
Most of the people
I'm glad you're glad. You're a nice guy.
Most of the people I know, I think, would be glad that you. I don't think that there was any.
There's a lot of people out there that weren't glad. But my point is, you're working for a news organization. If they're lying about a comedian taking horse medication, what are they telling us about Russia? What are they telling us about Syria? Do you understand that that's why people get concerned about the veracity of the news?
The concern was look, just the
This is so American, dude. This conversation is like, it's hurting my head. I had a big headache. Luckily, I'm eating now. I got Mendo. For those of you who are asking, Mendocino Farms. Curried couscous. Absolute fucking slapper. My favorite shit. So dank.
What are they telling us about Kusi?
And my headache was going away, but it's coming back now. Dude, this is just so... It's so self-centered, dude. Wait a minute. CNN is gleefully saying I took horse dewormer when they kind of didn't, and basically said that, like, ivermectin, commonly used for livestock, that the FDA has warned not to take against COVID. Like, you know, if they're doing that, then, like, what about everything else? It's like, yeah, the media fucking lies regularly, okay? It is the truth. It is the truth. You're walking it back entirely. First of all, there's nothing for me to walk back, you dumb bitch. I personally literally said regularly and still do that Joe Rogan took horse dewormer. I think it's fucking hilarious. Yeah. Comparing that to like lying about WMDs is also additionally hilarious.
He's right, brother. If they can lie about Joe, how can we trust them about American foreign policy?
That's how I feel like that's how some of these fucking idiots think, though.
Nuanced part of this, and you're not taking a horse dewormer. I get it. You got that as a legitimate medication from a pharmacy.
Somebody gave me. That's kind of a joke. My friend Megan probably.
Rogan is the literal embodiment of why going back to monkey is not a good idea.
Dude, this is so funny. You know, ibuprofen isn't used for headache at first, right? It was because it's property to stop headache. Now people think ibuprofen is only for headache. My friend, I completely understand that medication has secondary utilities. Okay.
Sup, dog?
For example, I take a prostate medication, but for my hairline. It's the only FDA-approved medication for balding. Okay? The problem here is there is no secondary usage for ivermectin that has been tested and proven.
When will
you understand? As a matter of fact, the same FDA that says you should use the butt medicine for your hair says you should not use the horse dewormer for COVID. You could have used a different example. You could have used the butt medicine for balding. That's like actually a better example because ibuprofen is just a way to manage pain. It's not horse dewormer. It's literally horse dewormer that has... Okay, sorry. It's dewormer that humans can use for river blindness. Is that better? And not for COVID. Is that better, dude? It's dewormer that humans can use for river blindness.
If I speak loud enough, I'm the debate winner.
And not for COVID. Most commonly used as horse dewormer. You can cry about how many Nobel Peace Prize. You can cry about how it won a Nobel Peace Prize for human application as many times as you want.
More likely to get myocarditis.
That will literally not change the reality that it is medication that is a dewormer that is to cure river blindness in humans that doesn't work for COVID. How do you know it doesn't work for COVID? Because I am COVID. Okay, that's right. I'm coming out. I'm actually COVID. My uncle is also the SARS virus. Yeah, that's right. That's how I know.
working towards full brain.
Dumbass. I know because there are studies conducted on the matter. That's why I know. Yeah, that's right. My real name is John COVID. Fuck, I'm sick and tired of hiding this. Anyway, let's go.
I said a large number, 4 to 6 times more likely.
They're not saying myocarditis. They're saying it's
Then be hospitalized with COVID.
hospitalized. Right?
Okay, put that up again. It's saying you're 4 to 6 times more likely to get myocarditis than to be hospitalized from COVID.
I will take a closer look at this, but
but you have an impulse to defend the vaccination in light of this data.
Can I pull out something here?
Sure.
Because I have been thinking about this a lot. You know, I mean, I got teenage kids, and we looked a lot at the myocarditis data overall. So,
but that is saying that you're.
Hey, chat. Please keep telling me about how the audio is bad. Because the chatter that actually ripped this video did it, I don't know, in a fucking in a hangar or something. I don't know what happened there. It's like, I literally don't hear it, and I need to see it in the chat more. The only thing that should be, the only thing I should be seeing in the chat right now is how the audio is bad.
4 to 6 more likely to get myocarditis than you are to be hospitalized for COVID for any reason at all.
Yeah, so here's the myocarditis data specifically, which showed that it was a 16 times higher risk of myocarditis among patients with COVID-19 as compared to the vaccine itself.
Right. But this is among all patients.
This
you could have 90-year-old people. They count as patients, right?
Yeah.
You're talking about, we're specifically talking about 12 to 15-year-old boys. What I was saying to you is your confidence in not...
Wait. Okay, but the
Hassle.
likelihood that you can get myocarditis from the fucking vaccine is also among all patients. It's not like he's using data from one data set. The audio is terrible, by the way. Oh shit, dude. Never mind. I had no idea. Thanks.
Worrying about catching COVID because you're a healthy guy and because you've been vaccinated. So you catching an infection of a highly novel virus, which is a real...
Bro, that's not even the fucking... Dog, that's not even how the mRNA vaccine works, dude. It's so fucking annoying. Like, it's so obvious that he doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. Like, how are you been fucking spreading this much, like, COVID conspiracy shit for this long and you still don't get, like, the main thing?
Real thing. You're less worried about that because of your circumstances. What I'm saying
because I have immunity.
These young boys will breeze through this thing for the most part. You know that, right?
I think most young people will be totally fine.
Most young people breeze through it, including my own children, breeze through it.
Yes, but can they spread it though? Can they spread it?
You can spread it. You can spread it if you get sick, but you're not worried about it because you'll be okay.
I'm far. Look, it's not a perfect vaccine. I'm not suggesting that, but if I tell you I'm 8 times less likely to get infected.
Right, but you could get infected, and thousands of people have and are still spreading it, right? Yeah. My point.
Okay, dude. That doesn't mean anything. That's so stupid. You're still less likely to spread it, and you are infinitely less likely to die from it or get hospitalized from it. It's wild to me that Joe Rogan literally thinks he knows more about this than a dude who like is absolutely more qualified to talk about this shit than like fucking Brett Weinstein is. You know what I mean? Like, obviously everyone is more qualified to talk about this than Joe Rogan. I'm more qualified to talk about this than Joe Rogan because I'm a human and not a fucking ape, right? But like, if there's one person who's at least more knowledgeable on the matter, than like the people that already informed Joe Rogan and brainwashed him. It's someone like fucking Sanjay Gupta.
Point was that your attitude, which is a totally reasonable attitude of not.
Jesus Christ, your arguments are terrible. Yes, Rogan is anti-vax. They're talking data for 12 to 15-year-olds, COVID conspiracy like The Guardian. What? Are you talking to me? What COVID conspiracy? Boys more at risk from Pfizer jab in side effect than Pfizer jab side effect than COVID. Suggest study. Wait. There's 0% chance that this study wasn't pulled out. It's yet to be peer reviewed. There's 0% chance that this study was not pulled. This article was amended to add feedback from the MHRA. The MHRA said that it's been closely monitoring all available data on the potential risk of myocarditis and pericarditis following COVID-19 vaccination. We have concluded that COVID-19 vaccines made by Pfizer, BioNTech, and Moderna may be linked with a small increase in the risk of these very rare conditions. The cases tend to be mild and the vast majority recover with a simple treatment and the rest.
Smile.
Oh, the study used VAERS data, really? It was revised. COVID study linking vaccines to rare side effect of myocarditis was wrong. Researchers apologize after error in vaccine side effects research paper.
Felice Quince May says,
dude, this is fucking paywalled. I'm gonna lose my mind, dude. I'm gonna fucking lose my mind. If you're covering relevant public health measures, paywalling this shit should land you in jail. You should go to jail. If the dumb motherfucker who was like, oh, we gotta fucking put this behind a paywall. Why, bruv, we're the fucking independent, yeah. We gotta put this on a fucking paywall, yeah. Why, bloke? You need to register. You need to fucking register. Jail for you. Jail. You go to fucking jail. Try the ad block, which I don't even know what that is. Oh, there you go. Hacker man. Okay. Research study that linked a very rare side effect to COVID-19 mRNA vaccines has been withdrawn by research after it made a major mathematical error. The Canadian study attracts headlines after series. There was a 1 in 1,000 risk. Oh no, this is a different one. I don't think it's the same one that they were talking about, right? The study's findings have been used by anti-vaccination websites, social media accounts in Britain and United States and Canada. Study was a preprint, meaning it had yet to be peer reviewed, or was it the same one? COVID-19 infection can also trigger myocarditis in younger people with a separate U.S. research team showing this happened at a rate about 450 cases per million infections among 12 to 17-year-olds during the first 12 months of the pandemic. This compares to the 77 cases of myocarditis for every 1 million males between 12 to 17 after an mRNA vaccine dose, meaning COVID poses a higher risk in the vaccine. Oh, no, it is. It is the same one. Oh, so the study was wrong. The one that Joe Rogan just mentioned. And the one that chatter just fucking linked to me. And they actually fucking pulled it. Where is that stupid fucking idiot, dude? Or at least there's another study that disproves the other study. Such is the case. 7-month subscriber. What was he? Spooktober or some shit? It's not the same study. It doesn't matter. I have a fucking anecdote as well. Or not an anecdote, but I have another study. Okay? Loop rat. Here I am. There you go. Fuck you, dude. Read it. Here I am. Vaccine folks can spread it too. Why do I have so many rat fucks in my goddamn community that have been in here for so long that unironically are anti-vaxxers, dude? What the fuck is wrong with you, bro? Get fucking vaccinated, you dumb bitch. I hate you, dude. I literally fucking hate your idiotic brain. Just protect yourself, please, okay? I don't want you to fucking get COVID and die, you stupid, greasy, fat piece of shit, okay? Please, get the fucking vaccine, because if you die, I'm gonna make fun of you. I don't give a fuck that you're in my community. If you literally fucking get COVID and die, I will spit and laugh and shit and piss and fart on your grave, okay? Let that be a motivating principle for you. If me telling you that, you know, please get vaccinated for your own safety is not enough, okay? I think he's going to say, I'm already vaccinated. I'm just an anti-vaxxer for other people. I'm double vaxxed. I got COVID today anyway. I'm vaxxed, dumbass. That's even fucking worse. You're vaccinated, got COVID anyway, and now you're spreading vaccine conspiracies to other people and creating vaccine hesitancy. Holy fucking shit, dude. Oh my God. I'm going to video game myself one of these days. I am going to be the one that fucking gets the Herman Cain Award. You are a vaccinated anti-vaxxer. What the fuck is wrong with you? Explain yourself. At least you protected your own. So what's up? Like, you're just doing it for the fuck of it, dude? Is it because, like, I don't know, you want to... Listen. Let's talk about this. I don't like traffic either. Okay? So you're, like, secretly thinking, you know, let's murder a couple people. Like, come on. Less traffic overall. Is that what it is? Is that why you're in here, like, I'm vaccinated, but also, like, at the same time, like, you know, kids shouldn't get vaccines because myocarditis? Come on. Like, what are you, Tucker Carlson? Is Tucker Carlson a 7-month subscriber in my community? Like, what happened? Why are you on Team COVID?
18 months, doom at times, but
did you see?
Stay strong, brothers.
What happened? Did you see fucking Joe Rogan being anti-vax and you were like, oh, that's me too. No independent thoughts here.
Thanks for the great content, Omar. No.
I want to see like older posts by this motherfucker about the vaccine. So many people, dude. So many fucking people literally DM me like, fuck you. You know, you fucking changed. Like, they only liked me because they were like, oh, this guy's anti-government and I'm anti-government. Like, there's no fucking values. There's no ideology. There's no principles there. They were just like, I just hate America for the sake of hating America, I think. And he hates America too. So now, you know, now that he's like saying you should get the vaccine and that's the government telling me to do something and I fucking hate that, like, I hate you for saying that. You changed. They left? That sucks. Vaccine folks can spread it too is such a fucking dumb take, dude. Doesn't matter. Less likely to spread overall, but more importantly than that, 99% of the fucking people dying in the hospitals, 90 to 99%, sorry, depending on where you're looking at, what the studies are. People dying in the fucking hospitals. They're still on the viewers list? Okay, well, they're not vaccinated. Okay, they're unvaccinated. Vax is good. I love it. Okay, I'm banning you. Fucking idiot. Glad you're vaccinated, dumbass. Hopefully you get soon. Hopefully you get better soon from COVID. You stupid fuck.
Not being concerned about a breakthrough infection is exactly the same way a lot of people feel about their children and COVID.
I'm not, you know, I think.
Do you see my point?
I do. I appreciate the conversation around this, but I think that, you know, we have to apply the same degree of certainty and confidence across the board, right? When I tell you that I am not concerned about getting a significant breakthrough infection, I mean that, because I know that the
Which chatter fucking clipped this?
Omega lol.
Dude, I'm just not having a good time right now. I'm gonna be honest with you boys. I'm just not having a good time. I'm having a bad fucking time, boys. Straight up.
Better. I'm
Thank
glad
you.
it only lasted a day.
You're probably the only one at CNN that's glad.
Nah.
Okay, we listened to this part already.
Sup, you beautiful bastards. Welcome back to the Philip DeFranco Show. It is the final show of the week when he we had Joe Rogan in the news because he had CNN's medical expert Sanjay Gupta on his podcast. And here's what I'll say. I've been very critical of Joe Rogan when he spreads vaccine misinformation or he gets things wrong and thus promotes vaccine hesitancy. But also I've been very critical of, and I think it's fucked up and stupid the way that CNN handled it when he actually got COVID. Saying that Rogan was taking a livestock drug, a horse dewormer. Doing something that for the sake of lawyers will say was them assuming or just outright lying. When in fact, yes, there is a horse dewormer version of ivermectin that a number of people were taking. But also there is the human version, which a lot of experts have said does not help when it comes to COVID. All they had to say was that Joe Rogan took a drug that the FDA has issued warnings about, saying that it is not approved to prevent or treat the virus. But they went the route that they did, and that brings us to today, because the clip that's getting the most traction, the most attention right now, is Joe Rogan calling out CNN and asking for Sanjay Gupta to respond.
They lied and said I was taking horse dewormer. First of all, it was prescribed to me by a doctor. Along
they
with
shouldn't have said it was
a bunch of other medications.
If you got a human pill, because there were people that were taking it, the veterinary medication, and you're not, obviously. You got it from a doctor, so that it shouldn't be called that. Ivermectin can be a very effective medication for parasitic disease. Can I just come back to the one I want to talk about? Two things on the ledger.
You have, before we get to that, does it bother you that the news network you work for out and out lied, just outright lied about me taking horse dewormer?
They shouldn't have said that.
Why did they do that?
I don't know.
So unfortunately for Sanjay, he seems in no way prepared to answer that question, which is kind of surprising because you have to know that it's coming. Rogan not letting him run away from it, metaphorically letting those hands fly. But what I would also say, and I don't know how many people are actually going to do it because everyone kind of just consumes everything in clips, I'd actually recommend listening to this full podcast. But if you listen to the whole thing, it's actually a pretty great conversation, even though I know everyone just kind of, at this point, kind of like hears what they want to hear. Everyone's got their lines drawn in the sand. But I thought it was great where you're having a conversation where Rogan's bringing up things like an extremely rare heart condition.
I want to, but unfortunately we can't do it on the fucking stream.
Can happen as an adverse vaccine reaction in kids. With Gupta pointing out in the conversation that kids who get COVID are far more likely to have that happen to them. So if you get vaxxed, it actually reduces the risk.
But then you've also got to look at what is, as you point out, the risk of getting myocarditis with the disease COVID as opposed to the vaccine. And it was higher. It was higher. With children. These studies were in children. And it was about 16 times higher. Now, keep in mind, 16 times higher sounds like a lot, but we're still talking about 5 out of a million versus now maybe just under 100 out of a million. So it's still really rare. Now, the one thing I will say about the vaccinated patients who got myocarditis is that they were all treated.
You also have him and Rogan talking about what it is to have COVID and then, like, quote, be fine, noting that it's not just about if you're going to the hospital or not.
You get teenagers who will have these long COVID naps. You get. What
does that mean?
They're tired all the time. They get these sort of long hauler type symptoms. Less so in kids, but when you talk about 33% of people having persistent symptoms that last months, I just feel like we define, I think we're allowed to have a nuanced conversation about this.
Or with him adding that this disease and its impact should be measured in more than just life and death, right? Will it kill you? Will you live? As well as talking.
By the way, I didn't watch the rest of that video, but the chatter who clipped that, I thought they were trolling me. Okay, that's why I'm pissed off. I don't know. If he did it on accident, then that's one thing.
Talking about, people recommending or not recommending certain people get vaccinated, right? Natural immunity versus vaccination.
So for you, Joe Rogan,
yes,
I would say you've had it.
Yes.
So now get one shot of the vaccine.
No.
Why not?
Because I have better immunity than I would if I was vaccinated.
No, we've seen health officials.
That's not true. That's not true. That's literally not true. Nice to hear Dr. Sanjay Gupta and Joe Rogan debate and respectfully disagree about multiple topics. I spent a fair bit of time discussing our preprint on post-vaccination myocarditis in boys. I want to clarify a few things. First, Joe does say it correctly once, but our study compared the risk we identified via VAERS. Oh my God! VAERS of post-vaccination myocarditis to the risk of hospitalization over the next 4 months and not overall from COVID-19. We did find that even at a time of high disease prevalence, dude, they used VAERS, dude. We did that even at times of high disease prevalence. The boys 12 to 17 without medical comorbidities were more likely to have post-vax myocarditis after 2 doses. Isn't she the person from that study you pulled up? Yes. Can you explain why that isn't true? My oncology professor has been telling our class the same thing about people who fight off the infection naturally have similar, if not higher, immunity than vaccinated people. It's not true. There was one study that suggested that it could be true, but the reason why it's not fucking true is because the likelihood that your body develops a natural immunity response is at like 30%. Also, your professor is an ecology professor. Who gives a shit? Okay. The likelihood that your body will build enough defenses is like around 30%. So a lot of people don't even develop a natural response. And that immunity isn't for a long enough time. Isn't the same as like the vaccine. The vaccine is around like 6 months. There's so many unknowns. And as far as VAERS goes, okay, VAERS is bullshit. It's a self-reported system. You could literally, I could right now be like, I died of COVID. And that data will sit there. Okay? When there's medical professionals write into it as well, but normal, regular homies can write into it as well. Like your ecology teacher could write into that and be like, I'm dead now. Okay? I got the vaccine boo-boo and it killed me. Now, how can it be used for studies? Well, the way it should be used for studies is if there's like a massive peak in some kind of fucking symptom that we had previously not seen. Okay? Then that triggers a fucking red flag and it gets scientists, not fucking this scientist though, not this epidemiologist, I guess, other epidemiologists to be like, okay, we need to conduct additional tests on this matter. And if it's like a serious enough fucking response to even take extra measures and make the FDA even halt the distribution of said vaccine. It already happened. It happened with Johnson & Johnson and it happened with AstraZeneca. Both of which are now back in distribution. That's how this works. Okay? It is correct that the hospitalization rate we identified in those with myocarditis was around 84%. Israel found that 81% of hospitalization rate among their myocarditis cases, most cases mild, but 1 death. We did find that even at times of high disease prevalence, the boys 12 to 17 without medical comorbidities were more likely to have post-vax. Okay. What was not discussed on the show was the other reports finding higher rates of myocarditis in this demographic than we found, for example, Israel and Ontario. In Ontario, Canada is reporting the highest rates for 12 to 17-year-old males. So our studies post-vax myo rates in boys after 2 doses are well in line with other studies. In fact, our rates were lower. The above studies were of Pfizer, but Moderna seems to have a rate of post-vax myocarditis in young men. The question of the rate of COVID myocarditis in this age group is a good one. Unfortunately, we don't have good data yet. We have good data on asymptomatic and symptomatic COVID-related myocarditis in college-age men, but not boys due to the inappropriate denominator. Please, more discussions like this. I think every one of us wants to work together to minimize harm and do the right thing to our kids. In the revision of our preprint, we are taking into consideration 1, overall infection hospitalization rate, 2, the benefits of 1 dose of the vaccine, and 3, a natural history of infection. History of natural infection.
Yiajan 9-month.
Twitter is not a credible source of information. Dude, this person is literally the one who wrote the fucking study. I mean, this is like one step below a primary source. We are going to the primary source of the primary source. There's literally nothing more credible than like doing that.
Moon to spin.
Oh, Joe Rogan responded on Instagram to the live tweets of the video IG live. Thanks, man. Stop doing that. It's not funny. Like sending me a Rick Astley link like you're fucking 38 years old, dude. Like, yes, it was a preprint article. It still is a preprint article. It has not been peer reviewed yet.
Refute Rogan's claim, saying the vaccine is the better and more effective option. But ultimately, where I'll end this is I am genuinely surprised that Sanjay Gupta went on the podcast. I'm not saying it's a good idea or a bad idea. Sanjay is saying that he went on despite his friends saying don't do it. And even Sanjay, in a piece that he wrote after the podcast, he seems somewhat conflicted. Writing, I guess a small part of me thought I might change Joe Rogan's mind about vaccines. After this last exchange, I realized it was probably futile. His mind was made up and there would always be plenty of misinformation out there neatly packaged to support his convictions. Truth is, though, I am still glad I did it. My 3-hour-long conversation wasn't just with Rogan. If just a few of his listeners were convinced, it will have been well worth it. But I don't know how true that is. I don't know how many people can appreciate nuance.
Bro. .3% of people who died in COVID in September weren't vaccinated. I mean, let's look at that. I mean, that data tracks with the rest of the data. Nope, still. Yeah, more than 99% of recent COVID deaths in the U.S. involve unvaccinated people. So, here's another fun fact. Are you guys ready for this? Between the age group 35 to 55, 34 to 55.
Check this out.
COVID has officially passed heart disease and cancer for the #1 murderer for the past 2 months. So for motherfuckers who are like, nah, dude, this shit's like just for the birds. It's for old people. You know, fun fact. #1 murderer of 35 to 55-year-olds in the United States of America currently for the past 2 months is COVID. That's right. Yeah. Bullshit. 20%, 22% of deaths in Poland were vaccinated people. I literally don't know if that's true or not, but the likelihood that, like, you know, 22% of Polish people that were vaccinated died is hilarious. Like, that's just not real. There's no shot. Or maybe it's just like anti-Polish, the vaccine.
Or that both parties in something can be wrong about different things, and just saying that doesn't mean that they're equally wrong. They can be wrong in different ways, more meaningfully or not. It also doesn't mean we stop trying to have conversations, because then it's just game over, but maybe it is game over. But with all of that said, and understanding that this is from a 3-hour podcast where we're not covering everything, what are your thoughts with this story? And it could be there's a number of aspects to sync your...
Even if it's 22%, the 78 were unvaccinated, so that's what this chatter... So what does that chatter even think that means? Oh, Chatter was just lying. Oh, he was lying by just like fucking... I mean, he's Polish, so obviously he doesn't know how to do math, so that's probably why that happened. It's fine. You know? He saw 2 and he thought that's the same as 22, so... Dumbass. There's no evidence that any of the vaccines, including COVID-19 vaccines, cause fertility problems in men or women. No, I never said that. I just said that it has the likelihood of changing your fucking period. Wait, shut the fuck up. Are you serious? It's lower now? Only 0.1% of vaccinated people die of COVID, health ministry reports. Okay, we gotta ban him. I have to. I'm sorry. What was the dude's name? Oh, it's a different statistic. Sorry. Oh, never mind. Vaccinated people constitute 1.9% of all deaths. Yeah, that's even lower, though. It's not as low. It's a different stat. I misread it. Still lower, though. It's at 1.9%. It got lower. What's his name? No, I know we're looking at Poland stats now. Because a person who was like, in Poland, 22% of death from COVID is vaccinated people. So I looked at it, and turns out it's just completely a fucking lie. Like, he just straight up came in here and was like, "Ha, Polska Gorom. You don't know any better." My source was literally the Konfederacja Party. Dude, look at the duality of chat. Terrible Polish accent, but carry on. Solid Polish accent, to be honest. My source was the Konfederacja Party. Please also stop being racist. Like, what the fuck? Wait, is this like the fucking conservative party or something? Like, is he... If this is like the fucking transphobic party and this dumb motherfucker is literally being like, please don't be racist. Because I said... Oh my God! Why are you like this? Why are you like this?
Keck moment.
Yo, how are you gonna be a Nazi when Hitler literally didn't think you were a human, dude? Like, what are you doing? Like, Hitler literally did not think you were a human, and you're still like, no, it's pretty good. Hitler, that guy, good ideas. I'm still white. You say I'm Slav, I'm different, but you know. How, dude?
Hassle, 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 hassle.
Sorry for my Nazi juicers. XQCL. Stop being racist to me. Like, what the fuck? Also, my source was the far-right Polish party. Dude, the far-right Polish party is like the far-right party in Nazi Germany at that point, dude. What party in fucking Poland isn't far-right? He fucking left? No, I banned him. I banned his bitch ass before he like started writing slurs in the chat. Polish neo-Nazis actually argue that Hitler wasn't pro-white enough because he didn't consider Slavs to be as good as Aryans. You know that the far-right Polish party is rising, right? It's ironic. No, I do. I just, like, find it really fucking weird that, like, you could be impacted by the fucking Nazis. Wait, the party ideologies for the fucking Polish chatters party. Right-wing populism, economic liberalism, anti-communism, anti-immigration, anti-Islam, hard Euroscepticism, internal factions we have, ultra-nationalism, paleo-libertarianism, paleo-conservatism, monarchism. Monarchism? Anti-Zionism, reactionism, agrarianism, political Catholicism, Christian nationalism, anarcho-capitalism. This is why I stay out of Polish people's business, okay?
They seem like Liberty hangout if they were a party.
It literally got clapped by the time you put it on, dude. God damn, they were quick.
Yep.
Minarchy means minimal government. It's like a kind of libertarianism. Here's that death of a pet side effect from VAERS I mentioned yesterday. Also, death of a relative. Yeah.
Hassle.
Dude, being a fucking Polish monarchist is so funny.
Pogo.
But what's even funnier is that, like, the racist Polish dude was like, why are you being racist towards... why are you being racist right now? What the fuck? You're being so racist against me, a Polish Nazi.
Love you. That's it. Bye.
Oh, the most sensitive people on the planet. Sorry. It's the truth. And you know it. When I shit on Turkish people, they're like, I kill your 7 generations, blah, blah, blah. When I shit on Brazilian people, they're like, you're kind of right, but also like, fuck you. I kill your 7 generations. When I shit on Polish people, they're like, why would you do that? We are the most oppressed people on the planet. Literally, no one has ever been as oppressed as the Polish man. We are the butt of every joke. We are the most oppressed. How dare you fucking do this? I'm literally pissing, shitting, farting, and crying right now. What the fuck?
12 months, Pog.
Nothing has ever been as devastating as hearing about, someone say that I was stupid. Like, literally, they just, like, when you make fun of fucking Polish people, like, they just start crying non-stop. The only racism they cannot tolerate is racism against the Polish. That's also true. One time I said Poland is, like, overrated. It's just all white people, and it's, like, overrated as shit. I don't know why the fuck white nationalist Stefan Molyneux made it seem like it was so dope. And, like, people got so mad at me. There were, like, community members in here that were like, how the fuck? How dare you say that? We have been victims to both communism. We have been victims to both Nazism and communism. How dare you say that? Well, what Polak has hurt you? What did he do to you? Literally nothing. I've never been to Chicago. I have no interaction with Polish people. I've literally never... I don't think I've ever interacted with a Polish person. Poland is dope because they used the billions they got from the EU to build beautiful places. Confederacja is a party made of all the craziest people that couldn't get into the government on their own. That's why they have a monarchist guy, but also crazy libs. My Ecuadorian friend told me their president closed all the banks and then changed their currency to the USD. Then he fled the country and now is a professor at Harvard.
Got my whiskers.
What? Oh shit, Rafflegator is Polish. That's right. Yeah, but Rafflegator is also funny, so he doesn't give a shit. Also, American Polish people don't care. They joke about it. I think Polish people from Poland care. They get like really fucking mad. They get really mad and really sad when you make fun of them.
Your teeth into. I'd really love to know. Also, in news regarding the vaccine, especially for those of you that are like, I got my vaccination, what's all this about boosters? Do I need one? Is it just for the ultra vulnerable? Do I need to get the same exact one or can I switch over? Right, wondering if I got the J&J shot, can I do the hokey pokey with the Pfizer or Moderna vaccine? And now, thanks to some preliminary data from the National Institutes of Health, we kind of have an answer, which is always a great thing to say. Kind of. Because keep in mind, none of this has actually been peer-reviewed yet, so things could change. But for now, the evidence and data here seems to suggest that people who receive the J&J shot will experience stronger antibody levels after getting boosters of either Pfizer or Moderna. But the data also reportedly suggesting that people who originally got Pfizer or Moderna will see a similarly strong response after getting a booster from either. And overall, seeming to showcase that the mixing of these vaccines is also safe. But like I said, we're not quite there yet. Up to this point, only the Pfizer vaccine has been approved by the FDA as an actual booster, and even then, only among certain populations. Which actually, on that note, the FDA spent today reviewing and ultimately approving Moderna's booster, again, though only for certain populations. And tomorrow, they'll look into the same question for J&J, with them also reportedly considering the idea of mixing vaccines, though here they're not actually scheduled to make any official recommendation just yet. So it's going to be very interesting to watch, and at least in the United States, this is kind of the, I feel like, a turning of a chapter. A lot of the focus is now going to be on booster shots as well as shots for kids, which actually, regarding the former, the number of people getting boosters here in the United States has now officially surpassed the number of people getting their first doses. But from that, I want to take a second to thank the fantastic sponsor of today's show, Vessi. You know, honestly, it is very hard to find lightweight shoes that actually keep your feet warm and dry through.
I thought Polish people were hyperlibs. What? You thought Polish people were hyperlibs? What the fuck? I mean, there's hella Polish people in this community. But no, my friend. Are you fucking nuts, dude? Poland currently has a far-right, like, transphobic, anti-Semitic, anti-immigrant, Islamophobic government, dude. What the fuck do you mean? Poland is literally like running towards, like running away from history. The only country that's worse than Poland with respect to their fucking governance is Hungary. Hassan is a social fascist. Read George Jackson and colonized revolutionaries. Keep away from this psyop. Hassan is a psyop. Yeah.
One more month, Haas Boggies.
Read Tribune of the People. Build up militant workers. Long live Chairman Gonzalo. Fuck rich people. Read Tribune of the People.
1 year of giving my Bezos bucks to house.
That's my favorite type of leftist. Like people who found out about me just from like one fucking article saying how much money I make. So now they fucking reply to me by being like, or quote retweet me by being saying stuff like,
convinced me to get the vaccine, no cap.
I'm gonna jump this guy when I see him next time. I'm gonna go to Los Angeles and murder this guy. And it's like, and then I look at their account and I'm like, dude, what the fuck? You're literally like you're like a fucking pro-labor union account. What the fuck are you, what? Like, did you ever fucking click on anything I've ever done to just like see? Real revolutionaries are waging real people's war right now. Why don't you study their theory? Before we can build a real revolutionary party, we need people who are willing to live, work, and struggle from among the masses. What? Yeah, real revolutionary action is by fucking making a sock account on twitch.tv to go and like fucking schizo post in the chat with the hopes that like someone else who's just as equally deranged as you will click on your fucking links. I mean, this person might literally be neurodivergent in a minor, sweaty. Like, if I'm being honest, like, I might be actually making fun of a neurodivergent, literally minor, sweaty person. Not the ableism. I'm just, that's the meme is like, I'm literally you're bullying a neurodivergent minor.
Yo.
Oh, because I said schizo posting. Sorry. That's right. That was ableist. I'm sorry. Worst of all, you're making fun of the oppressed group that is white boys from Naperville who are Marxist, Leninist, Maoist. No, no one from fucking Naperville is a Marxist, Leninist, Maoist, dude. No, Naperville boys are just like dudes who say they're from Chicago, but they're like conservatives. I do love when people say I'm a psyop or a social fascist. Social fascist. What are you, Stalin? Who says social fascist? The last guy that said that was literally Stalin. What the fuck kind of take is this, dude? That's right.
Yo.
Are there going to be any other hoodie colors? The gray is mid. I agree. The gray one is not going to be out. It's going to be either orange or black, but probably orange. Isn't social fascism just fascism? No, Stalin used to call social democrats who collaborate with fascists social fascists. That's where the term comes from.
Sick hard hassle.
You know, it's like cut a liberal and a fascist bleeds, that sort of thing. Just blasting you. Are tiny heads in this season? Did I miss the memo? Yes, Hassan is leading the beauty trend in this regard. What the fuck? Why am I in this? Autumn orange, mustard yellow, please. I can't fit the fucking hoodie to your specific needs.
Have you ever seen the doctor online who vapes through a mask? There's a doctor that he thinks that masks are silly and they're really only for surgery, and that really they're just to stop spittle and particles from falling out into surgery. He's like, these cloth masks that people are using, his argument is essentially like, watch this.
Yeah.
And then he uses one of them vapes that blows out all the smoke, and he blows right through them, and it comes out the side. He's like, this is what's happening if you breathe.
Yeah.
So he doesn't think they're effective at all.
I think the cloth mask is definitely not, although this is a high quality mask, but the surgical masks better.
Thank you very much. Two-ply.
I'm not trying to sell these for you.
They're pretty good, right?
Although people should wear a mask, I think.
And they tighten up on the sides too.
I noticed
adjustable.
that. Yeah. I mean, it's for a particularly big face.
This is the guy. Look at this guy. Watch. Back it up so he vapes again on the other one. Watch this. So he takes a hit and then blows right through this. Look at that. So if all that is going out into the air just like your breath is, how is that protecting you from COVID? Is some of it being caught in that thing? Is that the idea? Like, what makes you think, like, but those vape particles, they are larger than COVID, correct?
I mean, right. And COVID aerosolizes. Where do you guys find this stuff, by the way?
Oh, we're online.
said, where do you guys find this stuff? Welcome to the internet, Dr. Sanjay Gupta. What kind of... Like, I'm more confused how he has never encountered this before. How are you this unprepared, dog? Your job is to literally disseminate accurate medical information for the Clinton Crime News Network, okay? How are you this bad at your fucking job, dude? You've never seen medical misinformation at a time of COVID? Do you not have a single non-liberal fucking friend? Why did you go on this show? What is happening at CNN? Do they think like, oh, well, the rest of America, like, why aren't they getting vaccinated? I wonder why. Apparently, there's a lot of medical misinformation going around. Like, did you not look into it? You know how many fucking videos we've seen of shit like this? How is he ill prepared for this, dude?
Man, this is a podcast. This is
got
what we
it.
do.
I got it.
You've listened.
I listen. I just like I don't. You know.
You can't be shocked now.
Look, I've been so immersed in this for 2 years. Every day I'm reading about this stuff, and
unfortunately, me as well.
Yeah, and so, but you guys still seem to find things I haven't seen. But the it's not perfect. You know, I think that the source control, meaning that am I wearing this mask? If I wear this, how much is it protecting me versus how much is it protecting you if I wear it?
Right.
The source control.
Right.
I think it offers some protection. You know, and I have made the case many times that if you're going to wear a mask, you probably should wear a high quality mask like a KN95. That's what I have. That's what I carry around with me is a KN95. I came
Can
in.
see the difference between
I came in an Uber when I came over here.
This is bullshit compared to my masks, bro.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'll tell you. You didn't even know about your masks, okay? You didn't even know about
yours. Doesn't even adjust. What if you have big ears?
I have a normal size face, Joe.
You do have a normal size. You have a beautiful face.
Thank you very much. No, but it also has these.
I'm so glad that they were just like doing a fucking hangout, dude, with the boys, just little hangies, dude. Like, does this dude not realize how many people watch Joe Rogan? And how much of a fucking impact, how much of a positive fucking impact he could have had if he took this shit seriously. This episode would have been better if Joe Rogan just had an anti-vaxxer on. Like a random anti-vaxxer. The impact that this episode would have had on Joe Rogan's fan base would have been better. Here's why. He has anti-vaxxers all the time. And his fan base would have been like, oh, here's another boring fucking anti-vaxxer. Jesus Christ. But when you have Sanjay on, and then you blow his fucking back out with your dumb, idiotic ape brain in a way that like all the other dumb, idiotic apes are going to respond positively to, it's literally worse. It's worse than having a fucking anti-vaxxer on. Yeah, this is true. As far as Rogan fans are concerned, Joe just rolled Mr. CNN. And every fucking dick-sucking, titty-sucking worm on the internet that makes a living off of being like, nom, 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 nom. Joe Rogan, please have me on your podcast. Nom, 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 nom. I too hate mainstream media. Follow me instead. Nom, 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 nom. They're all like probably fucking clipping this shit, jerking off to it like extra hard, like, oh, lying news, CNN got fucking dumpstered and dumpstered by Joe Rogan's big, thick, veiny brain.
Hold $1.
Please have me on your podcast, Joe. Please. I'm so sad. I'm so pathetic. I'm so fucking desperate, dude. Please. You know what I mean? And to the people who say like, oh, would you turn down a Joe Rogan interview? Fuck not. Fuck not. Fuck no. Of course not. But there's a reason why, despite being the fucking most popular socialist broadcaster in the country currently, I will never be invited on the Joe Rogan Experience. Because I don't suck him off beforehand. David Pakman. Yeah, but David, I mean, David doesn't fucking blow his back out. That's the difference.
Hassle.
Like, I don't think David Pakman probably fucking rips into his asshole as much as I do. Also, David Pakman's not a socialist. That's a lie. You'd go on because you're a fan. No, of course I would go on. I would 1000% go on. One, I would go on because I used to be a gigantic fan of fucking Joe Rogan. Okay? And two, his platform is insanely large. And three, I would no longer have to run top of the hour every hour ad breaks. You know what I mean? I would just stop doing that in its entirety. But hey, I haven't been on Joe Rogan yet, so I am going to run a top of the hour every hour ad break at 4:26 instead of 4 p.m. And I'm going to also tell you can avoid those ads. It's all good if you don't want to see them. All you need to do is subscribe. You can do it for $5 or you can do it for free. With a Twitch Prime, that is. There's other stuff that you can do as well, but I can't get into it anymore. So here's the 1 minute ad break now. Starting at 2:30, this is the people you are talking about. To Joe vibe. What?
It's electrically charged, so it's supposed to catch things a little bit better than they take the particles or the fibers and they electrostatically charge them, so it makes it harder for the particles to get out. I don't know what it is.
Okay.
But KN95 is supposed to block about 95% of particles. It's not by any means perfect, and most people don't wear these. They wear a cloth mask, so it's not going to be as effective.
So you suggest that people wear a KN95? That is what you suggest?
I think if you're going to wear a mask, then wear a good mask. And
what
then
about them dudes who wear bandanas like they're robbing an old West Bank?
They would totally be vaping through those things easy.
I saw a guy the other day. He didn't even have a fucking mask on. He had a face shield with all this underneath. You could like reach under it and touch his face. Like, what are you wearing? What is this? That's not doing anything.
A lot of it doesn't make sense.
But
it doesn't make sense.
I wear masks because I don't want people to feel uncomfortable. That's why I'm when you know you're supposed to wear a mask or a mask is suggested. I wear a mask just so people feel at ease.
Yeah.
Because I see certain people, particularly people that are anxiety-ridden, that see someone without a mask and they get upset and they tense up. Look, this has been a strain on a lot of folks that were barely hanging on during normal times.
Yeah.
2 years ago, there was people that were filled with anxiety, freaking the fuck out about regular life. Those people are still around. I recognize that, so when I'm supposed to wear a mask, I don't complain. I put it on, but I don't think it does anything. I feel like when I'm wearing that mask, I'm just placating people and making them feel good, which I'm fine with. We're in a weird time. It doesn't bother me. But I know people that have gotten sick while wearing a mask. I know a bunch of people. I think at this point, I know 3 or 4 people that for sure were wearing a mask when they caught.
Yeah, it's by no means perfect at all. But
Okay, I'm done. I can't. Dude.
Pepe La 2 more months.
It's undefeated. Anecdotes stay undefeated. There is literally no fucking way to defeat someone like Joe Rogan or just vaccine misinformation in the marketplace of IDs. I think we're lost.
25 years.
We're literally fucking lost, dude. Like, this is the best? Motherfucker said, I know 3 or 4 people that got it. And Sanjay's like, well, you know, masks are not fully effective. Like, what are you doing, dude? Where's your sense of responsibility, dude? What would you have said in response to Joe there? Masks are there to protect others because COVID is a pre-symptomatic spreader, meaning you might not know you have COVID and give it to other people. And that's precisely why, when we know it's like aerosol transmission, that's precisely why mask wearing for every single person is the most effective way of stopping the spread of COVID, while also simultaneously social distancing. Masks do work. Masks are pretty fucking effective. They're not 100%, but that doesn't mean that it's not effective. The most effective way that a mask works, however, is by stopping you from giving COVID to others, not necessarily stopping you from getting COVID from others. If you're wearing a mask and someone with COVID is not wearing a mask, you can still get COVID. But if you're not wearing a mask and someone who has COVID is wearing a mask, the likelihood of you getting COVID is a lot lower. That's how it works. And the best possible way of stopping the spread of COVID is if you're social distancing or if you're outdoors otherwise, and both parties are wearing a mask.
But also, you got to keep in mind that when you're wearing the mask, it's most likely it's what's called source control. So you're more likely to
keep from giving it to people,
to keep from spreading it. Yeah. Not perfect, obviously, from the
not
video.
Not even a little perfect.
Not even a little bit. Although I think that guy, I think maybe
he's
that
hamming it up
a little bit, a little bit.
But what if you breathe heavy? What if you just got done jogging?
The guy's really breathing heavy. No, but all these things, I think in combination help. Look, this is how I look at it right now. Things are looking good in terms of the trajectories. Numbers are coming down,
falling down. Right?
Hospitalizations coming down. It's still.
I just don't like that you can't fight back against anecdotal information, which is doing other anecdotes. Do it then. Do it. Sigma mindset. That's what I started realizing. Like, you can't defeat someone who's just like, I know a guy. So you just say, I know two guys. And just look him dead in the eyes. Be like, I know two guys. Yeah. And if he says he knows two, then you say, oh, I just remembered I know three. That's it. Like, because ultimately, like, debates are bullshit, right? Like, the ultimate goal of a debate is to change the other person's mind if you're, like, trying to fucking change their mind or whatever. So, like, if they're using fucking anecdotes and if they're, like, so fucking lost in the sauce, then, like, logic and reasoning is not going to bring them back to the real world. You know what I mean? Just say two guys. Just say like, a guy? I know 100 guys.
Still a fire burning. We still have over 100,000 cases a day. Once we get under 10,000 cases per day, it's an arbitrary number. But if you say, hey, what is it, the point where you say we feel like we got this under control?
The original vaccine was designed to deal with the alpha variant, right? Or the first version.
That's right.
How much different is it with the Delta and then with all these other ones that are coming up from the rest of the world? Like, I know the Lambda.
Wait, another good one. Oh, yeah, that's another one. I've used this tactic before as well on this broadcast. I know better guys. That's another one. He says he knows like a regular guy. You say you know a doctor. That's like you leveled up on his guy. So like one doctor is worth like 4 normal guys. You know what I mean? He can say like, I know 4 or 5 guys. And you can say like, well, I know 2 or 3 doctors. Owned. Yeah.
Was it the Wu? Is that or Moo? Is it
what
Moo?
If they say doctor, then you have to just say, I know more doctors than you. Like you have to say like, I know more doctors than you and they have better degrees than your doctors. No, virologists don't matter because those are fake news. The people that have the appropriate background do not matter in this conversation. We're not having a conversation about empirical evidence or like that. If you're like, oh, well, I know an epidemiologist, like that doesn't matter. What happened to the epidemiologist matters. Like, because actually you could lose the argument if you say I know an epidemiologist, because the other side is like, well, I know 4 guys and you know a fake person whose like entire job is lying and the NIH is funding all of the studies and all those guys are epidemiologists and they created COVID in a laboratory and then lied about its results and like also wanted everybody to wear a mask so that everyone would fucking pass out from halitosis because everyone's breath stinks, obviously. And then when that wasn't enough because the brave patriots refused to wear a mask, then we decided to give them vaccines that, of course, have microchips in them that cause you to be infertile because they wanted people to stop what the fuck? Sorry. Anyway, let's keep going.
Ooh, it's going down the Greek alphabet.
Careful. The Wu Chang is coming. Then we're fucked. Once the Wu, there ain't nothing to fuck with. I already know that.
The other variants don't look as bad as Delta.
So Delta, but I thought the Lambda was a real
Lambda's
issue.
They're keeping an eye on it, but Delta still appears to be more contagious than that one. So Delta was a particularly bad variant. You know,
yeah, that's what I got.
That's what you got. Yeah, because it was what, 2 months ago now.
Yeah, and the way I got it was just being dumb. I mean,
you're in Florida.
Florida, doing concerts in the round. So what that means is it's an arena, and there's 14,000 people, and you're in the center. So here, everyone's screaming, they're laughing, so that's spraying out. And then when you get off stage, you have to walk through the crowd to get back to the green room. So you're high-fiving people, walking through people, breathing on me. Then we went out drinking and playing pool and didn't get back until we quit playing pool at 3:30 in the morning.
Jesus.
Yeah, so I was exhausted.
How do you do that? I mean,
I love that he legit is like, nah, dude, it's just because I was like, you know, if I hadn't drank and I hadn't like fucking played pool, like I'd be fine. Like, bro, you got it. You know what I mean? Like your immune system was weak and compromised, and that like, you know, you were tired. But if you got it, you kind of got it, right? Isn't that how that works? I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Very healthy lifestyle he's describing. I thought he was healthy and fit.
Just aside from pandemic, I mean, I'm 51. How old are you now?
54.
How do you do it, man?
I exercise and I take vitamins,
you
sir.
Exercise it so you could.
Steroids, motherfucker. How are you? Okay, I literally do not believe in Dr. Sanjay Gupta's like doctorate credentials anymore. Like, what do you mean? How are you like that, dude? Like, look at him. He looks like a Ninja Turtle, bro. You think he takes Onnit supplements? That's why? Bro, what kind of fucking... What are you, Dr. Oz, dude? What the fuck's going on? What's wrong with every fucking neurosurgeon, dude? Why are they so brain dead? Dr. Oz, Greek doctor, Greek.
Go play pool till 3:30 in the morning.
I'm trying to suck life dry. I'm trying to enjoy myself, and that's how I enjoy I'm a big fan of pool. I'm an enthusiast.
Well,
that's my addiction game.
And the next day you weren't sure because
the next day I was hungover, so I assumed it was the hangover.
Right.
I was like, God, I feel like shit. But it was like headachy, you know, hangover type thing. But then I did a show that night. No problem. Show was great. Had a great time in Orlando. Shout out to Orlando. And then
dude, I do think he's just like, he's such a nerd, and he just like desperately wants Joe Rogan, who is like the cool guy, to like him.
Got on a plane, and when I was on the plane, I was like, I am weary, like in a weird way. It was an odd weary, and I was like, I'm just gonna, you know, keep an open mind about this. But then when I got home, I was in my house, and I was like, something's up. And I told my wife, I said, how about I'm gonna go to a different part of the house. I go, I really feel like I have it. I go, and she's like, you look great. And I was like, yeah, I know.
But you were getting tested regularly, though, weren't you?
Yes.
So did you know you had it at that point?
No,
Or it didn't test positive
because
yet?
we didn't bring the test kit to Florida.
Got it.
But when I got back, I was like, I feel like I caught something there. I'm not sure, but let me just isolate, because I knew something was off.
Yeah.
I was hoping I was just going to recover and be fine. because I was talking normal, wasn't coughing or anything like that.
Mm.
But then in the middle of the night, I was sweating a lot, and I had like chills, and I was like, I think I got it. So then we got tested on Sunday, and then I started immediately getting treatment. So Sunday was the real rough day. And he wasn't even, I've had the flu before. It was like the flu.
So how?
Why did he isolate if COVID doesn't affect children? Why did he throw the kitchen sink at it if COVID is not that big of a problem? Why did he take fucking the FDA approved for emergency authorization treatment in the form of monoclonal antibodies if ivermectin is good enough? Why is he still singling out ivermectin as though it's like probably the reason why he got saved? So many questions I have, and none of them are answered. Sad.
Like, yeah, how bad was it overall?
I was walking around.
Was Joe Rogan always this stupid, or has he changed? No, he's always this stupid. His stupidity is his selling point. Like, that's why we love him. Okay? Like, him being dumb is literally the selling point of the show, because we're all fucking dumb. He did get worse. So, he was always dumb in, like, a really loving way. And of course, he's still a comedian, so, like, he has the capability of pointing out contradictions, hypocrisies, things like that, and it's fucking funny. And then you have the Joe Rogan mannerisms like, oh, have you ever tried DMT? Or constantly talking about Brazilian jiu-jitsu. Dude, what am I doing right now? My brain is like literally not working. I'm just slurring my fucking words and shit. I said Brazilian. Huh. Not good. Yeah, he talks about like Brazilian jiu-jitsu, the Gracies. About bears ripping off, or gorillas ripping off people's arms and shit. Like a whole bunch of cool stuff. But ultimately, he was like a good dude whose heart seemingly was in the right place. And then he started meeting like all these fucking IDW freaks. Okay, and it started then. It started like around, Gamergate, like anti-SJW shit was popping off on YouTube. And he started having these like real weird fucking Islamophobic liberals on who started shitting on the left like nonstop. And then the media would rip on him for understandable reasons. I mean, I would say
an entire year. Thanks
he
to you, I
is
have a girlfriend
responsible
now.
for the careers of so many right-wing shitheads. Don't you shit on the left? I mean, yeah. I shit on everybody that deserves to be shitted on. What did this fucking idiot say? So simple, just lie to them. We need HIV test mandates. Why he keeps looking at the camera? Lamafao. Says the guy that pushed the horse dewormer lie. Rogan is a real leftist. Son doesn't talk about anybody. He's quite the opposite. People talk about him. You know why? Because he's important and smart and everyone knows it. Just watch the news. Wait, what? What happened to this motherfucker, dude? Anyway, so yeah, so he used to do shit like this, dude. I mean, this is so whack. I'm sorry, but this is literally the wackest group of motherfuckers you can hang out with, dude. You are such a loser, Joe. Holy fuck. Imagine hanging out with these dudes, bro. Like, literally. Just the most boring. Yeah, nightmare blunt rotation is right, dude. It is just like, you are hanging out. Like, Dave Rubin is the coolest person on that table. You know what I mean? That's how fucking shitty everyone is. Like, at least he's like a normal human. You know what I mean? I bet they found so many unique ways. Oh shit, Shapiro's literally moving away from Rubin's hand. That's pretty funny. You know how like Orthodox Jews can't touch women that's not their wives? I wonder if he thinks like the same goes for gay people or something. Cause like you can see him moving a little bit. Did you guys know that? I found out about that because like there's like a hover hand Ben Shapiro compilation and it's pretty funny. And then people were like saying that the person who posted it was being anti-Semitic because he's Orthodox Jewish and Orthodox Jews can't touch women that aren't their wives or something. I mean, it's probably a good thing for Ben Shapiro, especially like, you know, he should probably touch no one. Let's be real. What's your issue with Sam Harris? Sam Harris is the fucking lamest, wackest motherfucker, dude. He literally had the bell curve guy on his podcast and then like defended his takes. Sam Harris is such a fucking racist piece of shit too. Like, he toes the line a lot better than all of the other dudes. Like, he's like, oh yeah, I'm actually totally a reasonable guy and I'm actually totally reasonable. I'm a liberal, and that's why I decided to, you know, bring in the guy that the wonderful Charles Murray, who was responsible for the bell curve, which is of course complete made up nonsense about how there's a scientific basis looking at IQ that shows that there's a difference in IQ amongst different races. Come on, bro. Sam Nuclear First Strike Islam Harris. Sam Racial Profiling is Good Harris. Against Muslims.
Sam Harris is just Bill Maher without the TV show.
Yeah, I mean, neither are funny. Sam Harris impression on point. So I actually, this is a fun little story. I met Sam Harris before. He didn't know who I was at the time, and I didn't tell him I was working at the Young Turks, but I talked to him on it was like an impromptu debate almost at the Santa Monica Equinox. No, I did not fangirl at all. No. I fucking despised him at the time. Yeah. I had a long ass conversation with him at the Santa Monica Equinox. Like, he did not know I was Muslim. He did not know I worked for the Young Turks until the end. And in that conversation, he literally pointed to the Santa Monica Pier behind us. And he said, in an effort to defend racial profiling for Muslims, that if a bomb blew up in the Santa Monica Pier behind us, who do you think is most likely to be responsible for that? It's Muslims. It would be a Muslim terrorist. It would not be a Mormon. So that's precisely the reason why hyper-focusing on Islam when it comes to domestic terrorism is the adequate thing. Something along those lines. And to the people who say, like, there's no way he said that, I mean, he says it literally. He fucking says it on his podcast, or used to, all the time. He says shit like that literally all the time. The irony, of course, is that the Santa Monica Pier, if it blew up, like, the most likely culprit would be a fucking far-right anti-government extremist, because that's the overwhelming majority of terror attacks on domestic soil since 9/11. Do not come. You don't realize how much of a hypocrite you are. You piece of shit. Respect Joe Rogan and suck his dick and titty. Okay, dude. He's a rabid Zionist as well. Yeah, I don't really understand how he can be like a atheist but also a Zionist at the same time. That's always an interesting one.
Sussy.
Isn't he supposed to be getting a bit better and distancing himself from the IDW? This is why I know Kreen's from another community. Still in here after all these years, but he is. Apparently he is distancing himself from the IDW. He's like talking about how, get off from that ivermectin hill, Joe Rogan. But like, that's because he sees the tide shifting. I don't think he has any fucking intellectual credibility or anything like that. When he apologizes for all of his fucking Islamophobic rhetoric, then I'll start believing that he's like changing. I don't understand how someone can consider themselves an art critic while knowing nothing of art history. Most music through history, the best of which we still play today, only exists due to being a glorification of the status quo, i.e. literally every classical composer. Wait. Did Lawrence Southern say that Mozart, who literally wrote about eating shit directly out of his mother's ass in his famous work, what was it, like Lieschen meine Arschloch? Is that what it was? That guy was a fucking conservative for the time. Is that what she's saying? That's real. Mozart was a shit fetishist. Lech mich am Arsch. Yeah, lick my ass. Lick my asshole. Famous poem that Mozart wrote to his mother. Worst part, his mother wrote back.